So, starting with the opening fight on the main card, Thiago Santos is a minus 270 favorite against Anthony Smith, who is a plus 230 underdog. Santos is on a 3-fight win streak, but it's been a while since he's fought a top guy. And Smith is coming off of a KO win over Hector Lombard, and before that he had an upset KO where he was a plus 270 underdog against Andrew Sanchez. So he's been in the underdog role before and pulled it off and got a victory. That being said, I do have Thiago Santos winning this fight. I think he just has a little more experience in this spot.
Santos, obviously, like you said, can play the role of the underdog. Either way, he comes out with the W.
Santos?
Santos.
I also have Santos here. I remembered his name, and I looked it up, and it was because he lost to Eric Spicely when Spicely was like a plus 770 underdog, and since then he's gone on a little streak there, and I just think he's probably hits a whole lot harder than Anthony Smith, and I think he's gonna secure the dub.
The second fight on the main card is Marcelo GOLM, who is a minus 170 favorite, against Timothy Johnson, who is a plus 150 underdog. Johnson's 3-2 in the UFC, but he's been all around kind of unimpressive in his career. And this is only GOLM's second UFC fight, so not really much to go off of here. Like I said, Timothy Johnson, I've seen him enough, but it's just like he's not jack of all trades, master of none almost. It's not like he's going to go in there and put on a display in any aspect of the MMA game, and I don't know much about GOLM. I didn't see his first UFC fight. I do know who he is. I just haven't seen his fight. But like I said, not much to go off of here. I am picking GOLM. He's a slight favorite. So, like I said, not much to go off of, but I am picking GOLM.
I don't have any interest into this fight, but I do have Johnson.
I also have GOLM here, and give me one moment, and I will give you my reasoning. For one, he's 6-0. He hasn't lost yet, and he is coming off of his first UFC win. And it looks like every single one of his fights he's finished, and it looks like it's all in the He's 6-0 with all 6 of his wins coming in the first round. So I'm looking for him to kind of run through Timothy Johnson here.
In the next fight, it is Michel. Michel?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Michel.
Michel Prazeres against Desmond Green. Prazeres is a minus 150 favorite. Green is a plus 130 underdog. The most impressive names on Prazeres' resume are Kevin Lee and Paulo Thiago. He lost both of those fights. Green went to a decision with Rustam Khabilov as a plus 2,225 underdog. Plus 2,225. And he took him to a decision. I assume that fight was on short notice. I don't really know. He also went to he won a split decision over Josh Emmett, who is obviously rising to a little bit of prominence lately. I'm going with Green in this fight. Like I said, very impressive showing in a fight where he was given almost no chance against Rustam Khabilov. I just think he probably takes a decision in this fight.
I have Prazeres. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. I have Prazeres coming off a sub win in the third round against I do not know. He's 23-2. I will give him the win, the edge.
Fun fact, we actually saw Prazeres fight. This is how I figured out this is how we knew him in UFC Chicago with Holman Shevchenko. He was on that card. He won a decision, I believe. There.
Over?
Huh?
Who did he win against?
It wasn't anyone notable.
Okay.
I am going to go with him. He just has a lot more experience, and I feel like he's going to ride that wave to a victory, probably by decision. It's probably not going to be a fun one.
Did I say who I picked? I said I'm picking Desmond Green, right?
Yes, you did.
The next fight, this is getting into the more important fights on the card here. Valentina Shevchenko is a minus 800 favorite against, oh boy, this name, Priscila CACHOEIRA?
Dude.
Who is a plus 550 underdog. It is her UFC debut. I think Valentina Shevchenko is probably one of the 5 best women's fighters in the world, and for that reason, I think she probably takes this fight fairly easily. I don't know if she'll finish her, but I think it'll be a very dominant performance by Valentina Shevchenko.
Yeah, I expect nothing less than pure dominance, and that's why I have Shevchenko winning this fight.
Yeah, Shevchenko said she doesn't look as any fight as an easy fight, and she's not looking past Priscilla because no one else would take the fight. Shevchenko's gonna just win, guys, at the house.
The co-main event in the evening is former flyweight title challenger John Dodson as a minus 150 favorite against Pedro Munhoz, who is a plus 130 underdog. Munhoz's only losses are to Jimmy Rivera and Rafael Sunsao, and he's on a 4-fight win streak coming off a win against Rob Font. So his 2 losses are pretty impressive losses, and a 4-fight win.
The first one?
Jimmy Rivera and
Okay.
Rafael Sunsao. And Rob Font, obviously, who just beat Thomas Almeida. Munhoz beat him. So I think that probably gives him a little bit of an edge, although John Dodson... I'm kind of surprised John Dodson's not a bigger favorite than what he is. Every loss for both of them, both of their losses combined, all of them are by decision. So I feel like that's probably how this fight ends, but I do think Pedro Munhoz is going to win a slight upset over the magician John Dodson.
I feel like John Dodson was almost in like a second tier of himself. You got Mighty Mouse, then him, and then maybe 1 or 2 other people, then everybody else in the division.
Yeah.
He's coming off a loss, maybe pushing him to do better in this fight or whatnot. So I expect him to win. Also, him being a favorite. I think it's well deserved, and I think he wins.
I also have John Dodson. Dude's probably the fastest guy at 135. I assume that's what this fight's at, right?
Yeah, probably.
I think he's the fastest guy in the division, and he's probably also got some of the best hands in the division. I think he's just going to be too fast and is going to outpoint Munhoz in this one.
Bye.
Ooh, he just said decision. This fight is at 135 pounds, so yeah, at bantamweight. The main event of the evening, LYOTO Machida is a plus 230 underdog against ERYK Anders, who is a minus 270 favorite. Look, it's 2018. LYOTO Machida is 1-4 in his last 5. ERYK Anders is going to beat LYOTO Machida.
As cool as it would be for Machida to get another win and maybe hopefully retire off a win, because he needs to retire ASAP. His prime is way over, but I think Anders wins.
Yeah, ERYK Anders is going to go into Brazil in a very hostile crowd. He's going to silence him. He's going to knock out the Dragon in the first round.